Hey everyone, how good is your Jira Cloud Backup solution? In this video, my good friends over at Revyz challenged me to make perhaps what is probably the hardest video that I've done on this channel. In this video, I am going to be giving you a real world, as real as it gets type of situation of a project and all my configurations, and then we're going to create a disaster. We're going to delete everything. And once we delete a project and all its configurations and all of its issues with just a click or two, we're going to be able to restore everything back with Revyz. So let's take a look and let's see if Revyz's claim that this is the best backup and restoration solution for Jira Cloud. Let's see if it lives up to it. We're going to really put it through the ringer in this video. All right, let's jump in. So before we get too far, I kind of want to set the stage. Again, the team over at Revyz has challenged me. Hey, Alex, make this as real world as possible. We want all the configurations, all the issue types, workflows, field configurations, required fields. We want it all. We want this to show that if something bad happens, no matter how complex your project is, you can have confidence that Revyz will be able to restore everything back and put everything in the way it was before that disaster struck. So let me walk you through my real world project, right? This is something that a client of mine would have. And if something were to go bad, example, the project goes away for whatever reason, we'll talk about some reasons in a minute, but if this project goes away and those configurations get magically deleted, can we bring it back? So let me just show you how complex this project is. So here we are in my super important app. Now my business relies on this project to generate millions and millions and millions of dollars. So if this project were to go away, that would be very, very bad. So we don't want to do that. So let me show you what I got going on here. So first of all, as you can see, I have a couple of different columns. So my board is configured. Now, not all the statuses are shown, but just for the proof of this video, we got a couple of extra columns here that don't normally ship out of the box. So we're going to be checking for the board configuration. Next, if you look at my icons, you're going to notice that I have a couple of different icons. I got a spike, I got my story, which we all know and love. I also got an improvement. I got a feature, and I have my bug, right? So if we come over here to our project settings, I'm gonna show you other configurations that we have. So when we go look at our workflow, we don't have the out of the box workflow. I'm gonna click on this diagram, and as you can see, we have quite a few statuses, transitions, we have some post functions that are in these transitions as well. And so we got a lot going on inside this workflow. Again, not an out of the box workflow. When we go down, let's review our issue types over here. As you can see, we have a feature, improvement, spike, a couple of custom issue types that are not out of the box. I created these manually. Now we're gonna go over to our fields over here. And as you can see, I have two field configurations. One for just this general, covers every issue type, and then one for bugs. Now, if I go into, for example, the bugs one, we're going to see that I created a couple of required fields. So I'm going to look up these fields. And so as you can see, I have my bug criticality being required, my environment bug found in being required. So what we're going to do next, I'm going to walk you through a couple of steps. Okay. We're going to basically reenact a disaster. Okay. Now this disaster can be either accidental, as in somebody accidentally deletes things, right? So they're just clicking and mindlessly not paying attention to all the warnings that Jira gives you, and they just, delete, right? Somebody's got a little too happy with their delete key, right? And so that's a possible scenario. Another one could be not intentional, right? It could be maybe Atlassian has a hiccup. This has happened from time to time, never as significant as like losing project data that I've seen, but they are becoming much more common. Atlassian has outages every once in a while, and you just can never know, right? You can never 100% know or trust that your data isn't going to be magically deleted by Atlassian. So different couple scenarios, but in any case, right, no matter what the circumstance is, at the end of the day, you are running a multi-million-dollar business. And as such, you want to have the best backup and restoration solution in place. Because when you're running a business that is worth so much, this business is priceless, right? And so we want to make sure that no matter what happens, we can always continue to run the business. If you've been in the cybersecurity world, this is called business continuity, right? So this is a big part of the cybersecurity field, which is, hey, when disaster strikes, can we continue to run the business? Because if your business stops, like the most recent hack for these car dealers where they couldn't sell cars anymore, right? Well, you can't make money. And if you can't make money, you can't pay your employees. And if you can't pay your employees, well, you can see the snowball effect there. So we want to make sure that we have a solution in place that can allow us to have this business continuity. And so in this video, we're going to try to reproduce this and or at least give you a glimpse of what is possible if you have the right solution in place. So let's take a look back in Jira, and we're going to start off with installing Revyz, and then we're going to start going through the real world scenario. So first thing we want to do, again, you want to do this before disaster strikes. If you're waiting until disaster strikes to get started, you're a little too late, my friend. So we want to take these steps first, as in like right now. When you finish watching this video, once you finish hitting that subscribe button, go and install Revyz, because then you'll be ready for whatever happens later. You don't want to wait until later to then set it up. Trust me, that's a little too late. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go into our gear here. We're going to click on apps, and we're simply going to look up Revyz. And so we type in Revyz. They have a very interesting spelling. As you can see, they have quite a few different options, but the app that we want is Revyz Data Manager for Jira. Backup and restore, analyze, and optimize. This is the one we want to start. Link in the description down below. Start your free 30-day trial. And so let's keep going. So once you have it installed, over on the left-hand side, we are going to get a new option. Okay, and right here we are Revyz Data Security. And so what we want to do first is we want to take a backup. Okay, so we want to create a baseline. And so the first thing we're going to do here is, now that I've shown you all the configurations, now that I've shown you all the issues and everything that's inside of my project, we want to make sure we're doing a backup. Now, fortunately for you, Revyz does a nightly backup every single night, and there's nothing you need to do or worry about. So this is all taken care of. You do, however, have the option to create these on-demand backups, and so that's what we're going to trigger right now. We're just going to create a backup immediately right now. So we're going to go back over here. We're going to go to on-demand backup, and we're just going to back up everything. We want to make sure we have our Jira issues. This is key, right? We want the data. We're going to also make sure we have our Jira configurations, right? All those field configurations that I showed you, the workflows, the new issue types, custom fields. I didn't even show you the custom fields. So let me take a second here to show you some custom fields in this project, right? So if I open these up, you're going to see, and you kind of got a teaser of it when I was showing you that bug criticality for those required fields in the field configuration, right? But we have an anticipated delivery date. We have a feature priority right here, right? And over on the bug side, we also have a couple of extra fields as well. Again, that bug criticality and that environment bug found in. So now that you've seen, I do indeed have a couple of custom fields. We're gonna go right back into our backup solution, and we're just gonna trigger this backup. So let's click on on-demand backup. We have everything we want. We're gonna back up now. Yes, we're gonna back up now. And this is it. We're gonna let that run. Again, just as this backup is running, I wanna remind you, you don't normally have to worry about doing an on-demand backup. Every single night, Revyz is going to take care of the backup for you. But if you ever do something big, if you're making some huge workflow modifications or some huge dump of, maybe you just imported 5,000 issues into your system, it's going to be a good idea that you take an on-demand backup, because maybe something bad could happen from the moment you did that backup to that midnight backup, right? And so you just don't want to risk it, right? If you do something pretty big, pretty drastic, just go do the on-demand backup. It only takes a couple of clicks, as I just showed you. And in a few minutes, that backup is going to be complete. So let's wait for this backup to finish up before we continue. Now that our backup is complete, now we want to simulate a real world scenario. What happens if you give admin rights to maybe an intern, right? And they're like, hey, what does this delete button do, right? So let's take a look. So let's assume that we have an intern that is going to go over to the gear, and they're going to go to projects. And for whatever reason, they come down to our multi-million-dollar project that we were working off of from the beginning of this video, right? And they're just going to come over here to more actions, and they're going to move to trash. So they're just going to click that red button, ignore that warning, and then to add insult to injury, they're going to go one step further. They're going to go to the trash, and they're going to then delete this permanently. And again, they're going to ignore yet another warning. Now, I may be exaggerating this a little bit, but trust me when I tell you, I've seen this very scenario. Maybe not that one, but a very common scenario that I've seen in my past is when we're working on a project in the sandbox and we want to recreate it in production, right? And we don't have a backup solution like Revyz in place, it is very common to basically create the project and configure it just the way you want in your sandbox, and then manually copy things over or recreate them in production. And so this particular scenario that I'm talking about, again, very, very real world, is my team member, what happened was they recreated the project, but they made a mistake. They made a mistake in the recreation of the project, so they wanted to start all over. And so they deleted the project and they permanently deleted, right? They just went through those two activities that I just did where you delete the project and then you permanently delete the project. But there was a small little problem. They didn't delete the new production one. They didn't delete the one that they messed up in. They accidentally deleted the sandbox, the source of truth, the one that we wanted to emulate. And my friends, when that disaster strikes, the only thing you can do is recreate from memory. And that is not a situation you want to be in. So again, when you do these changes, sometimes they're unintentional. Sometimes they're intentional, but they are secretly unintentional, right? They're just mistakes happen, right? And that moment in time, that's when you're going to wish, you're going to hope that you had a backup solution in place. So now that we've deleted this project, right, we want to permanently delete it. We will hit refresh because it does take a second or two to delete, but once it's completely gone, that project is gone. Poof, right? But our intern was ever so eager to make sure every change was gone. So they even went over to the gear and they went to issues and then they went to the issue types. And remember we had that feature? Well, they came over here to feature and they hit delete. They ignored this warning as well. And they just hit delete because remember, they, in their mind, they just want to start fresh. They just want a brand new environment that isn't contaminated, right? They feel like they made a mistake. They just want to delete everything, right? So they're deleting the spike. And the one thing that they're not noticing is that they're doing this in that production environment. They're doing this in the environment that they don't intend to do this in, right? But again, mistakes happen. And so sometimes we just got to be careful for that, right? So we got our feature, we got our spike, and now we're going to get rid of our improvement, right? And we're just deleting everything, right? We just want a clean, fresh slate. And so now we want to delete a couple of the custom fields. So we have the bug, right? So let's just get rid of those. Again, my intern, all they know is that they want to start over. They made some mistakes. They just want to revert. They want to go back in time, back before they did everything. We're going to go to the field configurations. We're going to find those field configurations. And we're just going to delete everything, right? We're just going to delete as much as we can. So let's go to this configuration scheme here. And we're just going to delete whatever Jira allows us to delete. We want to just delete as much as humanly possible because we just don't want it anymore, right? We just want to delete this configuration scheme right here and just hit delete, right? Everything is gone. We're going to go over to our workflows over here and we're going to go to our inactive workflows. We're going to look for that SIA, right? And we just want it gone. We want everything gone at this point. So we're going to go to the scheme. We're going to go to the workflow scheme and we're going to go to inactive down over here, look for it under inactive, right? Again, we are very, very intentional here, right? But again, the real world scenario is that we made a mistake in our copying and we just want to start all over, right? So we got the workflow scheme gone. We're going to go over to our workflows. We're going to look that SIA one up. And we're just going to delete, right? We're very happy with the delete key right now. And at this point, we have deleted everything, right? We got rid of the issue types. We got rid of the custom fields. We got rid of the workflows. We got rid of the field configurations, right? We got rid of all of it because we want to start all over. We wanted just a fresh baseline. And now we want to start over. But fortunately, we have Revyz. We took our backup. We did all that good stuff. So now that we have all that in place, rather than starting from scratch and recreating everything, I'm going to show you how easy it is to just with a click or two, be able to bring everything back using Revyz. So let's go take a look at how we're going to achieve this miracle. So over in Jira, we're going to make our way back to Revyz on the left-hand side. And this time, instead of backing up, guess what, folks? We're going to do a clone and restore. Okay. And so we're going to be clicking on clone. we're going to bring our project over. And what this is going to do is this is going to bring back the project, but most importantly, it's going to bring back all those configurations that we deleted. Because remember, it was a two-step process. Not only did we delete the project, we deleted the issues within that project, and we also then went and took it a step further and deleted the configurations. So now I just want to bring it all back. So we're going to go here, we're going to find our snapshot, right? I'm going to go to this one. It was a little bit earlier. I'm going to click on next, and we're going to self-restore, right? So this also works really well if you're going from that sandbox to a production environment, but we're just going to do it right here in this particular project. We're going to click on show projects, and we're going to find our project. So we want this SIA, super important app, and we want to restore issues. So make sure you slide this slider. Now, one little gotcha. Now that we turned on this restore issues, we now also need to go and call out where those issues are coming from. So you want to make sure you grab those issues from a backup that had those issues. Because if you backed it up after you deleted everything, then everything's going to be gone. So you don't want to grab it from that one. So we want to grab it from a particular backup that already had those issues. So in this particular case, because I didn't back up after the deletion, my backup is pure, right? So my backup still has all the data. So we're just gonna go grab this one here, okay? And so now that I know that that backup has my issues, we're gonna click on review dependencies, and Revyz is automatically gonna go figure everything out, right? So when I expand my dependencies, you're gonna see that it's gonna go find that field configuration that's gone. It's gonna find those boards that we deleted. It's gonna find those workflows that we deleted. We didn't touch the permission scheme, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so we know that we're gonna bring back our project. We know we're gonna bring back our issues, and now you can see we're gonna bring back our configurations as well. But before I do want to give you a huge disclaimer that I didn't include a little bit earlier. When I go to do my restoration, it is very critical that after any event, whether something got deleted or new stuff got created, you consistently want to be doing backups. Because what I originally did was, once everything got deleted, I went straight to restore. But because I didn't do a backup and recreated a new baseline, Revyz didn't know that certain things were missing, and it didn't know to bring things back because they were not in the snapshots that I was using. So I did have to go back and recreate my deletion and then take a snapshot. So I took a new backup, and then I was able to restore. But nothing else changed, and so I just wanted to get back into the video here. So we're gonna click on view summary, and we're just gonna click on that clone button. We're gonna give it a description here. Restoring intern's mistake. Apparently you cannot put special characters, so we're just gonna do improper English. And then you're just gonna type in the name of your Jira instance. So once that's done, click on the clone button. And as you can see, just a couple of clicks, Revyz is going to go do everything for us. So we're gonna come back and check once this is all done, and I'm gonna confirm to you that with just those couple of clicks, everything is back, and we'll see if Revyz's challenge of, hey Alex, do a super complicated real world scenario, let's see if they live up to that hype. So make sure you stick around for another couple seconds. Our restoration has now completed, and I'm now going to show you that everything is back. So as you can see here, I do have a success, and here's my partial success that I was telling you about because I didn't do the backup correctly. And now I'm going to prove to you that Revyz was able to bring everything back. So we're gonna kick things off by going into our project. So we're gonna go to projects here, view our projects, and I'm gonna type in SIA. That was our project that we deleted, our super important app. Here it is. So this is good first step, right? The project's back. We're gonna go into it, and here are the issues. So this is looking really, really good. And we're gonna go start looking at some of the configurations. So as I hover here, we have our feature back, we have our improvement, right? And we have our spike. So some of those issue types that we deleted, they're all back. Now let's go look at some more project settings, and let's see if things like our priority scheme made it back and our workflow, what those statuses. So we're gonna go to project setting. Let's go take a look at our workflow, and we're gonna click our little edit pencil. And things are looking good, right? We were able to get our issue types back. We were able to get the issues in the project. So I have no doubt that my statuses are gonna be there as well. So here we are inside of here. As you can see, our convoluted workflow is all back exactly the way we had it. So this is really, really good. And then we're gonna go back to our project, and we're just gonna take a look at our field configuration scheme and make sure all of that came back as well. So we're gonna go to fields over here on the left-hand side. We have our SIA field configuration and our SIA bug field configuration. And I'm just gonna open up the bug one. I just wanna see, are those 2 bug fields still required? So let's go take a look. We're gonna click bug, we're gonna do a search, and there they are. Both my fields, again, everything just right back exactly where it needed to be, even though we deleted everything. Now I am very, very amazed that Revyz is able to do this, right? This is not an easy thing to do. This is pretty complex, right? This is more real world. We weren't just like deleting 1 or 2 issues, 1 or 2 configurations. This was a whole project, right? And you can see the scalability, the power of Revyz here. It really can handle almost anything, if not everything that you throw at it. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. As you can see, Revyz is a backup solution that you definitely want to be checking out. There's links in the description down below, so make sure you give them a free 30-day trial run. And with that said, make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you drop a like. Do go get that 30-day trial started. Revyz puts a lot of effort into creating the best backup and configuration management solution out in the Atlassian ecosystem. So go give them a try. There's obviously a lot to choose from, but I highly recommend you give these guys a go. All right, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.